Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in today's third video. We're going to have a look at the weather for the next 10 to 14 days for today's third video. So day 10 will take us to the 21st of June. And we'll be able to extend out beyond that with the extended GFS ensembles and ECM ensembles too. They run around a couple of weeks. And have a look at CFS-V2 at the end of the video for July. I shall get on with that for you in a second. Just to say that the first video released today was our 7 AM upload. We've also released GMA Friday as well. It can be live streaming from 10 PM tonight, or after 10 PM tonight. So we're going to have a live stream this Friday evening for you coming up. And yeah, so please like, share, subscribe. Thank you so much, everybody, for doing that. I'll take you through what's happening tomorrow at the end of the video. But the ECWF 42-dayer will be released as like the second video up tomorrow morning. Yeah, having a lovely Friday. Right, let's get on with the video then. So we're going to start off with the GFS upper air temperature and precipitation ensembles the next couple of weeks. They're back. So yesterday we had to use Weather Outlook because it wasn't updating for some reason. Wetter, but now the familiar view that you're used to is back. So we're looking at Cardiff today. Red line's a 30-year upper air temperature average for Cardiff. We're starting off significantly above average. You've got more really warm to quite hot weather to come over the next few days. So yeah, going to be pretty warm really for the next sort of 6-7 days. Just shy of a week. But there is still a significant drop in temperature taking place as we move into the second half of June. Quite clearly we go from there around the 15th, 16th to there around the 17th, 18th. So there's quite a significant drop in temperature taking place from like very warm weather to much cooler weather. And then it looks like the rest of June, certainly going into the last week of the month, is just relatively cool. Really, there's a little bit of scats. There are some warmer on some members, but most of them are clustered around or below the 30-year temperature average, and very evidently more unsettled as well. So more or less completely dry over the next few days, certainly over the weekend into the early part of next week. There's barely any precipitation spikes to be seen. And then after that, it starts to turn much more unsettled. So still this month of two halves idea, I think, going on. The first half dry and warm, the second half cooler and potentially a lot more unsettled as well. And that's showing up within GMA Friday as well. I can say about giving away too many spoilers, I think. Temperature anomalies from the 11th to 19th of June are warmer than average, particularly so for England and Wales. Starting to cool down a little bit now for Scotland and Ireland, though. And the trend with these anomaly maps might be to cool things down a little bit more over the coming days when they update. Still dry on average, though, from the 11th to the 19th of June. The change to unsettled weather just around the end of this period, you know, around the 16th, 17th. So for the anomaly for the next week, it is still drier than normal. Latest wind flow map from earthnullschool.net shows that we're drawing up west-southwesterlies today from quite a warm source in the middle of the North Atlantic. So here's how the UK Met is looking for Monday. Low pressure to the north country on Monday, high pressure to ourselves. We put webcam back up for this part of the video. Yes, there you go. So high pressure is over to the south country, low pressure to the north and to the northwest. So we're looking relatively dry and warm as we begin next week. Moving out into Tuesday again, just about holding on to that ridge, but it is being put under pressure by the low pressure in the Atlantic. Wednesday's a changeover day as low pressure starts to move in, brings cloud and rain in with it. Now, this is an interesting little feature just here that's developing from the south from Wednesday to Thursday. It's midnight Thursday. That's happening because this low is coming into quite warm air. So let's just show you what's going on here. We've got this low pressure to northwest of Scotland, quite cool air being drawn in around the north and western side of this low. But ahead of it, of course, we're still bringing up the warmth that's going to establish over the weekend. So as this warm air moves in, as this cool air moves into the warm air, what happens is that the weather system is going to push across the country. It's probably cold front, could be included. Pushes through the country, but stalls as it bumps into that warm air. And it looks like we're actually generating like a thundery area of low pressure here across northern France, the Low Countries, and possibly into England, particularly east and southeast parts of England. So that might be a signal for some thunder around the middle part of next week with the UK Met. It could be. Could just be a push of rain across the country, of course, but gets a bit stuck in the southeast. But that has a sort of look, a bit of thunder about it to me. So we'll keep an eye on that. Right, this is how the GFS midnight run was looking then. So again, high pressure bringing very warm weather over the weekend into over next week. This is midnight on Monday. Sunday into Monday, we could be reaching like 30 degrees into the mid-80s Fahrenheit in the south. That reach continues into Tuesday as well. The changeover day begins on Wednesday as low pressure starts to come in off the Atlantic. Again, there is a bit of stall of that system across the country Wednesday into Thursday. Perhaps not quite as thundery look with that, but definitely a chance of some quite wet weather pushing across the country middle part of next week. Then that gets out of the way, that low gets out of the way, we go into a cooler, fresher northwesterly wind, and then we go up to day 10, we're looking very unsettled with low pressure coming in off the Atlantic, being bouts of rain, pretty cool temperatures as well by this point. So what a change to the second half of June. This is 22nd, just beyond day 10. Look at this, we're under a proper area of low pressure there with showers, if not longer spells of rain. Just goes on into the extended range as well. In fact, as far as we go, it's to the 27th of June, and then we've got a horrendous looking area of low pressure right over the top of the country, which would be threatening like a deluge, especially so to England and Wales. Very, very unsettled GFS midnight run once we get, the next week out of the way. Tower 6 said it's looking this very latest. Again, very warm and dry on Monday, but ridges weakening. That ridge is clinging on Tuesday. Wednesday's changeover day, but ridge can slip eastwards, low pressure comes in off the Atlantic. It's still very warm at this point. And there's that little low, but the UK Met is highlighting there Wednesday into Thursday. It might deliver some thunder that through the middle part of next week. How interesting will that be? Into the second half of next week, we're into a cooler, showery push of winds from off the Atlantic. And then that takes up to day 10 with low pressure again coming back in from the west. So we go putting some warmth back up from the south here. But not really coming to a great deal at this point. It's just low pressure driving in, bringing further spells of rain, showers longer spells of rain, really. Beyond day 10, unsettled, low pressure meandering in. Not as bad as the midnight run, not ending up with that really huge sort of dartboard area of low pressure overcast, but still a little bit unsettled, I think, and cooler. With the 6Z. We finish up looking like we're going to try and ridge in the Azores high, though, by the 27th of June. Let's have a look at GM, see how that one's looking. Please like, share, subscribe if you enjoy the video. Thank you everybody for doing that. Right, this is Monday then. High pressure, bringing lots of dry and very warm weather to the south. Actually quite hot for the south. Tuesday, again, that ridge just clinging on. Starts to get pushed out of the way, though, through the middle part of next week. Again, we've got this thundery looking low here across the northern parts of France. That's threatening. Perhaps some thunder for the south. It actually pushes up in the second half of next week into England and Wales. So that looks potentially very thundery with the GM for the second half of next week. How interesting is that? And then we move on up towards day 10. We're keeping it unsettled. Low pressure over top of the country. Showers along spells of rain. And much, much cooler with the temperatures at this point as well. So the GM is also breaking things down, perhaps through a thundery breakdown through the middle to second half next week. And then we've got the ECMWF looking like this. Again, very warm or hot, potentially in the early part of next week. Wednesday, low pressure starts to come in off the Atlantic. The thundery low through the middle of next week is more over the continent with the ECM. But it's pretty close and it's a few days away. So I have got to watch out for that. Generally just turning cooler and more unsettled in the second half of next week. Showers along the spell of rain pushing in off the Atlantic. And then another low there as we move up towards the 20th of June. That's bringing further wet weather, particularly so to the north. We finish up by day temperature. But 21st of June looking unsettled with the ECM as well. Very showery and rather cooler too. This is a precipitation type forecast based on that ECM run from Meteo.com. So it's going to be loads of dry weather over the weekend. It's going to be a barbecue weekend. We'll be back to sunshine. Temps can get hotter as well. Do enjoy it if that's what you like. Early next week, got some shower rain to the northwest of Scotland. Otherwise, a lot of dry weather for England and Wales early next week. But it is wet across Scotland for the early part of next week. And then through the middle of next week, that's when the changeover starts happening. Yes, there is risk of thunderstorms just in the southeast there, potentially around the middle part of next week. More heavy rain pushing up from the south there across England and Wales. That could be just persistent thundery rain, or it might be thunderstorms. It's a long way off. It's a week away. So we'd need to wait till closer to the time frame. And then, of course, we're into this Atlantic-driven stuff as we move up towards day 10, with much more in way of showers and some longer spells of rain as well. Right, at that point, I think we'll turn webcam off. We'll have a look at the options on the table within the ECM ensembles today. So these are the options on the table within the ECM ensembles for day 10, which will get us to the 21st of June. 29 members of the ECM ensembles have low pressure more or less over top of the country. And so they're going to be unsettled at day 10. Low pressure is back. 22 members of the ECM ensemble just have a low pressure a little bit further north. Higher pressure to our east and also to our west as well. And doing something a little bit like that with the flow and with the jet. So it's just a little bit drier for the south. It does include the operational run as well. I mean, it's still showery, it's still cooler, it's still showery. It's a little bit drier for the southeast. In 2 weeks' time, this is the option that we've got. It will get us to the 26th of June. 51 out of 51 members of the ECM ensembles, all of them have high pressure to our west and also to our south. And probably still a little bit showery, bringing in like a flat westerly type flow with that, I would have thought. But second half of June, definitely looking cooler and more unsettled compared to the first half. There's no getting away from that now in all of the model output. Finally, the CFS V2 for July looks like this today. Remember, these charts do change daily. So it's 700 millibar height anomaly, and it's showing high pressure over Scandinavia, also backing into the UK and then out into the Atlantic. Probably got some lower pressure up here with the jet stream looking a little bit flatter. However, it's still quite an anticyclonic signal for July, so you'd expect a relatively dryish and warmish month with that. The temperature anomaly is no better than average, but just to our north and east, it is a warmer than average month that's being forecast there. And the precipitation anomaly, again, is no better than average, but I would have thought a dryish sort of month would be quite likely. It is possible we are bringing in a little bit of influence from the jet stream, though, particularly to more northern and western areas from off the Atlantic. So, yeah, it's not a bad signal, but maybe not quite as warm, dry and settled as the first half of June has been. But overall, not too bad if you want some drier, warmer weather in July. Right, that's it for your videos for today. Not it for the content, though, because we've got a live stream to do after 10 tonight, so I'm going to see you live after 10. But yeah, that's it for today's uploads. Tomorrow, I'll just tell you what's happening tomorrow. So, of course, we'll start off with our 7 AM forecast. The ECM 42-day forecast will be released tomorrow as well, probably around the middle of the morning, sort of 10:30, something like that. Weekend forecast, whereas also on Saturday, and a 10 to 14 day. It's going to be a busy day at GavsWeatherVids tomorrow. And then on Sunday, again, 7 AM upload, we're starting our autumn update. Can you believe that? Autumn updates beginning on Sunday as well. GavsWeather City Roundup, and of course a Sunday evening live stream, which will be looking at some long range. We're doing Patal Penguins analogues actually this week for summer, autumn, and winter 21-22. So that could be a very, very interesting live stream, hopefully. Right, okay, so that's it for your uploads today. Enjoy the rest of your Friday, and I shall see you live tonight after 10. That's all for now, though, and thanks for watching.